All right, a huge welcome to all of you in Lebanon, especially those tuning in from the AUB Consulting Case Interview Prep Series. We're about to break down exactly what you need to know to land that dream consulting offer.
So let's just jump right in with a question. I know you've been practicing a ton of cases, but let me ask you this. Do you really think all case interviews are the same?
Well, if your answer was yes, you're gonna wanna listen closely. Because the single biggest mistake that candidates make, and I mean the biggest, is using a one-size-fits-all approach. The absolute key, the secret sauce to getting that offer, is tailoring your prep to the specific firm you're walking into.
Okay, so let's get into it. Before we start slicing and dicing the differences between firms, we gotta cover the universal building blocks. At its heart, every single case interview is designed to do just one thing. It's a simulation of what it's really like to be a consultant on the job. And that real-world experience, it almost always falls into one of these four big buckets. We're talking high-level strategy, optimizing operations, deep diving into profitability, or doing a quick and dirty market sizing. No matter which one you get, the goal is always the same. They're testing your business intuition and, crucially, how you think logically when the pressure is on. Now, this is a really critical distinction you have to make, like right away. Are you dealing with a market sizing case or a full-blown business case? Here's how to think about it. Market sizing is a sprint. It's all about quick calculations, smart estimations, and making sure your logic holds up. But business cases? Oh, those are a marathon. They're testing your ability to structure and solve a really complex client problem from start to finish. Okay, so let's add our first filter to the mix, and you'll see how this all starts to build. Because a firm's expectations and the difficulty of the case itself are going to change a lot based on just one thing, your experience level.
All right, so if you're an undergrad at AUB, this is for you. Your cases, they're going to be a bit simpler, more straightforward, and I'll tell you what, you can almost bet you're going to get a market sizing question. The good news is interviewers are probably going to be a little more helpful if you get stuck. Your number one job, your only job really, is to show a clear, structured, step-by-step way of thinking. They just want to see that raw analytical horsepower.
But for all you MBAs and experienced hires out there, the bar is set way, way higher. The cases are as sophisticated as they get. They just assume you know the standard MBA frameworks inside and out. The problems will have multiple layers, maybe a tricky international twist thrown in. You can't just solve the puzzle, you have to deliver that so what, that killer insight a CEO would actually pay for.
Okay, pay close attention here because this is where your prep needs to become absolutely laser-focused. McKinsey, BCG, and Bain, the MBB firms, they're all looking for the same thing: elite problem solvers. The catch? They test for it in three completely different ways.
Think of this as your roadmap. It's that important. At a super high level, you've got the interviewer-led style at McKinsey on one side, and the candidate-led style you'll see at BCG and Bain on the other. But it's not just about the label. It's the why behind these styles that matters. Seriously, understanding these three archetypes is non-negotiable if you want to tailor your approach and show them you've done your homework.
So let's break down McKinsey first. Their style is famously interviewer-led. What does that mean? Well, think of it less like one big case and more like a series of mini cases. The interviewer is in complete control, dictating the flow with super specific questions. Your success? It all comes down to creating a perfect, multi-layered issue tree right at the beginning. That's your logical map of the problem. So at McKinsey, you're not the one driving the car. You're the expert navigator, and your job is to perfectly answer every single turn-by-turn direction they give you.
Now, flip over to BCG and the roles are completely reversed. This is a candidate-led case, and what they're looking for is a hypothesis-driven approach. So now you are in the driver's seat. You've got to state a potential answer, your hypothesis, right up front, and then design your entire analysis to either prove it right or prove it wrong. BCG basically wants a detective, someone who can get creative and find those aha moments buried in the charts and data.
And then there's Bain. This really shows their mindset. It's also candidate-led, like BCG, but with this relentless, pragmatic focus on the bottom-line answer. Bain cases can sometimes feel intentionally vague, almost messy. That's because they want to see you aggressively bring structure to the chaos. And you have to be constantly asking, so what? What's the practical, measurable, profitable result for the client? They aren't just hiring a smart analyst, they're looking for a future partner who gets business.
Okay, so it's not just about MBB, right? Let's broaden our lens now, because the other top firms, the Big Four and other specialists, they often use really unique formats.
Sometimes they blend these styles, or they test your skills in completely new ways. So you might walk into a firm like Deloitte and find yourself in a group case. That's right, you're solving a case with other candidates. And let me be crystal clear here, getting the right answer is not the main point. It's secondary. The real test is your EQ, your emotional intelligence. How do you work with others? Do you build on their ideas? How do you handle it when someone disagrees? They're really just trying to answer one question. Are you a good teammate?
Then you've got the written case. Imagine this. They hand you a big packet of documents and data, and you've got to prepare a written response, maybe even a full slide deck. This is about as close as it gets to a real client deliverable. They're testing one thing. Can you take a mountain of information, figure out what matters, and communicate it clearly, all while the clock is ticking?
And firms like PwC and their strategy group, Strategy and, they can take it even a step further with the presentation case. You might get the case materials, like 4 or 5 pages of info, a day or two before the interview. You're expected to analyze it, build a slide deck, and then walk in and present your findings. I mean, this is the ultimate test, right? It's your analysis plus your executive presence. Can you actually command a room?
And you've got to be ready for all the other little quirks, too. Deloitte, for example, is known for its data sheet, where you have to pull info from a bunch of different exhibits all at once. Accenture's cases, often way more conversational, based on actual client experiences. And EY Parthenon loves the two-case model. You'll do one standard business case and one mandatory market sizing. Look, the big takeaway here is super simple. Always ask your recruiter what format to expect. No surprises.
All right, so that was a lot. Let's boil it all down into a final, actionable game plan specifically for your AUB prep. Okay, so no matter the firm, no matter the format, your success really boils down to mastering this universal toolkit. You've got to have your hypothesis, that's your initial guess, your issue tree, that's your structured roadmap, your analysis, that's how you find the facts, and your synthesis, that's your clear, powerful conclusion. Getting these tools down is the price of entry, but actually winning the offer, that comes from applying them with a firm-specific finesse we've been talking about.
Now, we have to talk about practice. Look, research from former McKinsey interviewers is pretty clear on this. If you invest somewhere between 50 and 100 hours in solid case prep, you can improve your chances of success by 10 times. Seriously, that number isn't to scare you, it's to empower you. Because consistent, dedicated practice, that is the single biggest thing that separates the people who get offers from those who don't.
So, what does that mean for you? It means practice all the different formats we just went over. And when you're in that room, in the interview itself, stay cool, maintain your poise, and think out loud. You have to remember, they're hiring you for how you think, not just because you can get the math right on the first shot. Your structured, logical thought process is what they're truly buying. Because in the end, everything, every case, every chart, every framework, every single question they ask you, it all boils down to one simple question in the back of the interviewer's mind: can I trust this person in front of my client? Your entire job is to walk in there and prove, through your confidence and your structure, that the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Now go get 'em. Good luck.